Another episode of the Branded BR Show coming at you live from the Florida Panhandle. Not too many shows can say that, right? A lot happening here. Of course, all summer long, it's free as can be because if you've been following, I am here in Pensacola, Florida, rebuilding my life. And I am free as can be because my stuff is in storage and I am living back home. So join me week to week as I rebuild my life. A lot has happened, though. It is still Boomer Summer. Boomer Summer continues mid August. I just got back from a big trip in Austin, Texas. Went back, then had a little party weekend in NOLA. I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to tell you what I learned about Austin. Am I going to go back? I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. All that to come and more. I don't have a lot on the Boomer front. This was interesting, though. Here's my Boomer Summer update. So I come back. This summer's been a little challenging for my mom and my stepdad. My mom broke her arm. My stepdad's just been, I don't know, doing nothing. I come back from a week gone and like my mom's arm sling is off. She's doing stuff. My stepdad's dressed up. He's going to a job interview. I'm like, what the hell? Is job interview? But yeah. It was like the end of Back to the Future when Marty comes back and his parents have just completely 180'd their lives. It's like, what the hell is this? Breakfast. That's right. One thing my mom did, I have to share with you, did say this week. This was too good. She literally explained to me how to use a door. That's right. She literally said, come here. I want you to look at me close this front door, which we have had for 30 years, because I don't want you ripping the knob off. Like anyone has ever ripped the knob off the front door of our house. Like I'm a time traveler from the 14th century who's never seen a doorknob work before. Oh my goodness, what is this heresy? It twists. That is the devil's work. I know how to use a knob. I just said, Mom, I know how to use a doorknob. I've used them all my life. I've never ripped the doorknob off yet. I'm not going to start now. And that was it. That's how I resolved that problem. So, okay. That is my boomer update. What did we learn from this trip in Austin? So, uh, I needed to go. I went back and forth about it. I checked on my stuff. It was good, because I've been away. I've lived in Austin for 5 years. I've been away all summer. I decided to go back while it was still summer and do the one thing that I love to do the most, which is skydive. So I did that, a lot of that. I led some coaching jumps. I learned from some other people. I nailed a really awesome campfire. I posted that online. That was really fun. I should have posted the video here, but I didn't. So I got some pretty sick sit flying action going on. And I was exhausted from that. I got to catch up with all my friends, but it was kind of like it felt like a work trip. It was very tiring. Did a lot of skydiving. Checked on my stuff, all still there. No homeless people have broken in and stolen any of it. God, I had a moment where I opened my storage unit and I just saw my stuff, and it was like, oh, I have stuff. I had a house at one point. This stuff is all still here for me. I'm coming back for you, stuff. I'm coming. Oh, it was just good to see it and know that it's all there. That this little weird experiment I'm running in my life isn't going to last forever. And at some point, I'm going to have a home again. Oh, it just feels so good. But I got to tell you, I went into Austin thinking, yes, I'm going to come back and move here. But what did I decide since then? After being there a couple of days, driving around, looking at the traffic, and everything. God, I was just like, I don't know about this place. I don't know about this. It's kind of a pain in the ass. The traffic sucks. The things I didn't like about Austin are still there. But I'll admit, I eased up on that a little bit after a couple of days being with friends. I remembered, okay, I did have a life here. I have good friends here. What do I do? Do I go back? Do I not? I caught myself telling people, everyone's like, well, what are you doing? Did you move? I'm like, no, no, I'm coming back. I'm just in Florida for the summer. Thankfully, the summer in Texas lasts until November, so I have time. But I just kept caught myself thinking, like, am I coming back? I'm saying yes. I don't know. I don't know where else I would go. So after a few days, I got more comfortable with the idea of coming back. But what I realized was I don't have to make my mind up right now. And saying Austin is my default. I literally just changed my phone number thanks to Apple to an Austin number. So that would be, of course, appropriate if I moved after changing my phone number to an Austin number. The good mental default is yes, that's my base. But practically, what I think I'm going to do for the rest of the year is I'm just not going to go, I'm not going to have a home. I'm going to be a gypsy. Oh, gypsy. I'm going to float around, not going to have a base. It's once you like, and if you've ever done this, you'll know once you put your stuff in storage, that's it. Something changes in your brain, and you're just like, I'm going to stretch this out as much as possible. It sucked to get all my stuff in here. Now I'm just going to chill. I'm going to have fun. I don't know. I'm going to be in no hurry to move back and have a house. I know this. I know that I'm not going back. If I do go back to Austin, I'm not going back there or I'm not settling down anywhere until I have a good base, a good income situation. I feel like I've got my priorities under control. So I'm going back from an empowered place and not a holy shit, what am I doing? I'm running out of runway kind of place. So that's what I'm doing right now. So after Austin, I went to New Orleans for a long delayed reunion there with everyone. And I just decided I'm going to have a good trip. I'm going to enjoy myself. Got myself a hotel downtown. Now, let me tell you, if you want to go to New Orleans, I have decided the best time to go is the middle of August. It is blazing hot, but no one's there. And if you're like me and you actually want to avoid tourists because you're from New Orleans, it is the best time to go. It is a ghost town. It's like going to the gym on a Sunday at 4 in the morning. You have the whole place to yourself. It's incredible. And driving into Louisiana, and I'm being dead serious here, just driving into that state, it's hot, it's humid, it's, swampy, a little dirty, roads a little eh. But I looked around at that state and I'm thinking, how does everyone not realize that Louisiana is the best state in the country? How am I the only one that sees this? Sure, got its issues. Everyone's leaving, hurricanes, corruption. I don't know. But the people and the food and the vibe, it is just the best. It's like, I don't get it. It goes to show people are really superficial. We want good taxes, good tax situation. By that, okay, no taxes. Like, I guess business friendly atmosphere. That's it. That's where people want to move to places that have that. And Louisiana does not have that. But should that matter? That's kind of superficial. I don't know. I think it's the greatest state ever. If you've never been to New Orleans, do not take my advice. Do not go in August. You'll feel like you're in hell. Go in November, go in April. But if you've been, go in August. They are giving away hotel rooms. They're paying you to stay in hotels. They're so cheap. It's incredible. Wide open, cheap hotels. You can sit, eat anywhere in the city. You don't really have to deal with reservation headaches. It's the best. I feel like Louisiana is going to do really well, especially New Orleans. I think that as AI becomes a bigger and bigger thing and robots become a bigger and bigger thing, people are going to value human things more, like culture, like good food. And those kinds of things you can't replicate. Those are the IRL things that I think they're going to be a premium on. New Orleans is well positioned to capitalize on that. Will they? Or will they squander it again? I don't know. There's also a skyscraper that is shedding pieces of itself into downtown at random parts of the day. So stay away from that. That's got to go. I don't know. It's not a good omen for the city. Other than that little eyesore, it's beautiful. What do they? I don't know. So what I've decided: Gypsy the rest of the year, Louisiana, greatest place ever. Where do I want to go? I don't know. You know, Mr. Beast does his show from like bumfuck North Carolina, and he's like the biggest thing there is. He doesn't live in LA or New York. Do I need to live in Austin, or do I need to live in one of those other cities, or can I do it from New Orleans or hell, the Florida Panhandle? I think I'd choose New Orleans. Or is it advantageous to be? It's probably always advantageous to be in a city that has a lot of the people that are doing what you're kind of doing. I guess. I guess the lesson is you don't have to. It's better to overall. Mr. Beast didn't do it. He stayed home and built his empire. Are you comparing yourself to Mr. Beast, Brandon? Yes. Yes, I am. So, the other thing I learned is that coming back here to Pensacola has been we've entered a new phase of the year here. And it was weird because the first couple days I was really tired and I was really like not sure what to do. I wasn't feeling motivated, and I realized it was because I didn't want to operate from the place I had been operating all year up until now, which was from a place of pressure. So I knew that was over. When I left to go on this trip and came back, I knew we're in a different phase. I'm doing things differently. I didn't know how or why or what it would look like, but that's one of them. Like doing things from a place of not pressure, but interest. Like what's fun? What's interesting? What's actually motivating to me? And that's really hard because I was programmed in school to just almost to do the things first that I know I don't really want to do to get them over with. And that habit has continued throughout my adult life. And I don't want to do. Now it's like not so you hit a certain age where those kinds of things don't serve you anymore and you have to do something about it. So I'm not. I'm sitting here, I don't know, living with my parents, but not doing things from a place of pressure. That felt really important. So I'm telling you about it right now. Okay. What else? One thing I did want to talk about as I've done this work, built up this show, I've explored a lot of other shows and I've noticed more how I react when I am listening or watching other shows. And man, I got to tell you, the media in general that we have, it sucks. The big podcasters, at least that I know of, that I listen to, are all negative. I mean, we know the news is negative, but like I listen to Joe Rogan sometimes and I've largely stopped because God, I just feel worse about the world after listening to his show. And he's the biggest show there is, and he's a comedian. I think a lot of people listen to his show because he's a comedian, you know? But his worldview is so negative and cynical, and he frames things in a way where he presents the problem. Oh man, this is messed up. Oh man, there's a conspiracy about this. Oh man, I don't know what's going to happen with this. This is crazy. It doesn't present any solutions ever. It's just like this is what's wrong with the world. And that's the simplest way I can put it. And that's what a lot of comedian podcasters do. That's what a lot of podcasters do. They follow the same tropes that the old media, the 20th century media used to get audiences, right? Fear, outrage. You got to stay tuned because if you don't, you're not going to know this terrible thing that's happening to the world that you can't do anything about. And, comedians especially are hard because, and look, I don't want to rip on Joe Rogan. He's a really talented guy. He's a great comedian, but other comedians too, like Tim Dillon is another one that, like, oh, I saw this episode of Tim Dillon. And I'm like, oh, he was talking about data centers. I find data centers really interesting. More on that in a second. But he's going over this news story about this family that is getting eminent domain out of their house in Georgia so they can build a transmission line for a data center. And, you know, I'm not sure what Tim Dillon's stance is on data centers. I was almost naive enough to think that it would be kind of like my libertarian view, which is, yeah, let it be. No, it's of course cynical. The billionaires are just there to fuck us. They're going to do whatever they want. You can't do anything about it. Kind of nihilistic. And that is just a default for a lot of comedians. They're sarcastic, cynical people. That's part of what gives them that skeptical worldview. But it doesn't make for like I don't know, like a very like good show. And I'm being dead serious here. I think in order to move forward with a better world, a world that's reshaped, that's more liberated and empowering, we got to have better media here. And so getting back to that Tim Dillon story, like he was talking about data centers and how like, this family got kicked out of their home and, they're interviewing the family. Now I pick up very quickly that Tim Dillon's stance is these are all fuck the billionaires. They're going to do what they want. And this family stance is, we're losing our house. And of course, the news station stance is, and they don't want business to do anything. They're there for the family, the little guy. But like this family lived underneath power lines, and you're getting paid above average rate to clear out and go somewhere else. Well, this house has been in our family for generations. What is it with Americans and like being so attached to housing? It's a commodity. It's a good. Like nobody like other places in the world, people don't feel that way. Look at Japan. They are not like this at all. In Japan, because everything has been destroyed over and over by like earthquakes or I don't know, the Allies firebomb Tokyo or Godzilla, they're adept at rebuilding their housing. They're not attached to it. In fact, they don't want old houses. Why are we obsessed with like old multi-generational houses? I don't get it. Rebuild new, rebuild better, have better housing. It should be like a car. And, nobody clings to a Honda Civic and says, well, this Honda's been in our family for generations. No, you drive it around until you get 300,000 miles on it. And then the next time you drive it into a ditch, that's it. It's over. You leave it, write it off. Get a new Honda Civic. Why aren't we like that with housing? And I have libertarian views, but I'm kind of pro eminent domain. I kind of think like when we're building something cool, And the criteria should only be what Brandon Beard thinks is cool. That should be allowed. Airports, theme parks, data centers, whatever. And why is everyone negative on data centers right now? I don't get it. Why? First off, I got news for you. If you watch this or anything on YouTube, guess where you're watching it from? A fucking data center. Your Netflix, your porn. It's all coming from data centers. No one had a problem with data centers until a couple of years, or until like a couple of months ago, when we all decided, well, this is going to be the new thing that we're putting all of our fears about the world in. This is it. This is the thing we're going to feel bad about now. It went from COVID to data centers. It's insane. Why should it be anyone's business if I buy a bunch of land, my land, I bought it, and I decide I want to put up a building and put some computer servers in there? That's nobody's goddamn business. Why is it anyone's business? Granted, if I'm not I don't want to be using up everyone's water, which they're mostly not doing. And yeah, you should be creating your own power so not everyone else has to pay your power bill. Okay, that's just common sense. Who cares if I build a data center and then I decide to put something cool on there, and if other people want to download the files for $12 a month, whose business is that? Except for me and the person I'm selling it to. That's just private property 101. I don't get it. Shit. I know I said I would never get political on this show, but I'm getting political because it just doesn't make sense to me why we hate data centers. They're going to all be in space in 5 years. Chill the fuck out. So, I just get tired of watching comedians and other media figures, as of course the legacy media, of course CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. They're going to just fearmonger and give you negative stuff all day. Here's the thing. None of it's real. Most of it is nothing you can do anything about. Most of it is framed in a way that's overly negative, and it just drives everyone more and more insane. It seeps into your subconscious. It's bad for the freaking psychosphere of the world. And we got to have better news. Am I going to have to build a better news network? I might have to. I don't want to do it. I might have to do it. Okay, I've got a radical idea. I'm just going to make a news network where we tell you what's happening in kind of a realistic way. If it's not going to be overly negative, it's not going to be overly, I don't know, it's not going to keep you up at night. And if there's something you can do about it, we'll tell you. If not, we'll tell you you probably shouldn't care. I wish they would just say that. I wish this is how the news handled COVID. This is all they ever had to say. It could have been a 30-second news story, and that would have been it. It could have just been, hey, so you know how like once every 100 years something crazy happens that doesn't really make a lot of sense, and you're just gonna have to deal with it for a while? That's it. That's all they had to say. You don't have to pick a side. It's gonna be kind of insane, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on. This is gonna be nuts, and you're gonna be shocked at how people are reacting to this. But here's what you need to know. We largely know who's actually at risk of this virus. The government's going to do some crazy stuff. They're going to try to lock you down. If you don't like that, well, if you do like that, stay at home. If you don't like that, go to Florida. This whole thing will be over in Florida in 3 months. Go get you a hobby, you know, crochet, decoupage. Go watch every season of every TV show ever for the next year. It's going to be fine. Go fly somewhere for free, for cheap. They're giving away flights right now. Go to Mexico. They don't care about COVID in Mexico. Go there. And it's all going to be over quicker than you think. That's it. That's all anyone had to say. There's one story that's been going on all summer that I've noticed, and that is on Fox News as it streams, as it booms through every TV in my parents' house. This is the Strait of Hormuz, the Iran war. One day it's on, one day it's off. One day Trump says this, one day Trump does that. Blah, 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 blah. The Strait of Hormuz is open now. It's closed. Open, closed. All they ever have to say is, look, let's be real. You're never gonna go to this place. There's some shit going on there. It's gonna make things you buy expensive for a while. Mostly gas. Here's what you can do. You can invest in literally anything and it will outpace inflation and you'll just be fine. I don't know, go get a Tesla if not. It doesn't matter. It's a clusterfuck and you're never going to go there and it doesn't matter. So live your life, pour some wine, have a bagel, whatever. That's what I wish they would say. What do you think? Leave me a comment. Do you think I should build that news network? I may have to. Somebody's got to do it. Well, I'm all fired up now. So let's go to questions. We got a question. Jesus, Brandon, what has gotten into you today? I don't know. It's supposed to be a fun show. What I'm talking about. I literally sketched this out and I decided I'm not going to talk about politics. And I have talked about COVID, data centers, the Strait of Hormuz. But I did give you a good travel tip. Go to New Orleans. All right. Well, you're right. Maybe I'll look into building out this network. Could be a good idea. Cut to weather. Here's some footage of a puppy, a monkey on a bicycle. That's good stuff. Okay. All right. Well, until that happens, come back next week for another episode of the Brandon Beard Show. I have been live from the Florida Panhandle. I can't wait to see you next time. Boomer Summer continues right here on the Brandon BR Network. We'll see you later.